So I'm Aaron, and I'm a teacher. And I work at Metro State in Denver. And the focus of my teaching is humanitarian engineering and engineering for developing communities. And tonight I'm going to talk about humanitarian technology. You might ask what that is. That's technology that helps vulnerable people. So why do we need humanitarian technology? Something that I've observed is that 90% of engineering is only for 10% of the world. That's us, the well-off. The rest of the world, there's a large gap that's created where we don't have access to water, sanitation, energy, and other things that we take for granted. If you live in one of these red countries, you make less than $3 a day. You likely don't have access to clean water, and likely you don't have access to energy. And if we look at the world at nighttime, we can see that the wealth of nations is associated with our access to energy and our access to technology. And there are places in the planet where there are not enough energy for even a single light bulb. So that means there are billions of people who are living in very harsh conditions without things that we take for granted. And this is sobering statistics when we look at this. And these are things that can be solved with engineering, but not engineering alone. So when I talk about humanitarian technology, there have been well-meaning interventions to help people around the planet that have failed. 60% of water projects in Africa fail within 2 years. Why is that? Because technology alone cannot solve these problems. We have to take culture into account. We have to have community involvement in projects. This is the keys to successful projects that help people. So along with that, we need education that helps people learn this. And because I'm a teacher, this has been my focus. So I'm focused on educating people on this idea of humanitarian engineering, humanitarian technology, which includes social sciences, includes humanities, includes everything. And this is a humanitarian engineering club that I started at Metro State. These are some of my students. On the left there, that's a solar distiller. On the right, there's a robot that rescues people if they're trapped in a mine. And my students wanted to help the world. They want to help in these projects. I'm going to talk about a couple projects they've done. So when the Nepal earthquake occurred a couple years ago, it was a pretty terrible disaster. Thousands of people were homeless. Thousands died. Really bad situation. And my students wanted to help. And they thought, what can we do from Denver? So they created a water filter, and they tested that water filter, and they created it with items that you could find in Nepal. They're readily and easily available. And then they made plans for these water filters, and they sent them to an NGO, and they were passed out amongst the community, and so the community had clean water in the aftermath of this earthquake. So some other projects we've worked on, my screen froze here. We went to Costa Rica, and in Costa Rica, my students said, what are we going to do? What projects are we going to work on? And I told my students, we won't know until we ask the community what their needs are. And they would have never guessed that their needs were that monkeys were stealing the eggs. So the students built a hen nesting box that funneled eggs into a container that was monkey-proof. And everybody was happy except for the monkeys. So it was a great experience. They really enjoyed that. We've also worked on things locally. We don't have to go international to find projects where humanitarian engineering can help in vulnerable communities. And with one project that we've worked on is solar furnaces using beer cans. And as you can see here, this is one of the items. My students love Rolling Rock beer. And these are very easy and cheap to make. And they're very effective. And the way they work is they go in your house, and these columns of cans allow air to pass through them with a small computer fan. The sun heats them. That warms the air. That warm air is piped into the house, and it lowers your energy bill. And this is a picture of my student Ziola's hand measuring this. This is on a cold day with 35-degree input, 170-degree Fahrenheit output. That saves $25 a month in heating. So we figured if we can save $25 a month in heating, we can help some of these poorer communities in our region. And so we did some test models or some demonstration models and gave them the community. And then we taught them to build them with a workshop. And so now there's 45 of these in this community, helping this impoverished community in Denver lower their bills. So overall, My goal as an educator is to make an army of humanitarian engineers. People can go out and make the world a more just, peace, and sustainable place. So thank you very much.